Welcome to Luna and The
Hi.
Druid, our channel where we talk about spirituality, Wheel of Year, magic, tarot, inspiration, the shadow, and
And life.
life and the light. Yeah. And we're live. Welcome to our viewers live. And if you're watching this at another time, you're most welcome too. And we have some interesting stuff for you today. What shall we talk about today, Luna?
For the last couple of weeks, we were talking about the shadow. We briefly mentioned the darkness and the light. But today's session is to navigate between the space within the darkness and the light, and how we can move from the darkness or the shadow, feeling stuck, for example, into the light. Because sometimes we don't know how to take that first step into the light or how it would look like. And that's something I would love to discuss today. I am
Yeah.
counting on your experiences, our dear viewers. I would love to see some comments today with your ideas, your ways, and your um, shortcuts. Maybe you
Oh,
have some. I
if you
would
have
love
some.
to hear them
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, isn't it funny that um, that everybody occasionally has to face a little darkness, has to face a little darker times when the mood is not as bright and happy as always, and when the fatigue kicks in. We're in a very cold snap in Ireland, and we were discussing this afternoon uh, before the show, and we said, okay, we we're both a bit tired at the moment, and let's not delve in it. Let's not go with it. Let's get out of it. Let's get over it, and we're doing that by being here, by being present, by being live, and by not letting this darkness, this tiredness, this somberness of early winter, the first frosty nights, get the better of us. We're better than that, don't you think, Luna?
Mhm. Not to mention that inspiration comes from you, our dear viewers. Those who share their life's journey with us
Yeah.
are the big inspiration. And today we dedicate this episode to those who are in need of light. And before
Yeah.
we jump in, I would love to say hello to Susan and hello to our Iron
Hello
Fire
again.
Horse. So lovely
Yeah.
to have you here live today with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we go any further, I want to remind you that this is a safe space where you can open up, where we are here to listen or read your comments, but also to learn from you guys. And we're hoping that we can teach you something as well. I love storytelling and I love sharing experiences because from that, many goodness can come out of just having those conversations, sharing each other's experiences, especially within such an important topic like moving into the light and how to get there. This session will be good for those who feel also stuck, caught in a place where the darkness feels heavy, but yet the light feels just out of reach.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not like what we're doing, lighting candles and turning on artificial light. We need some real light. We need light from the sun,
Mm.
our life bringer. And of course, we need to have our inner light burning, our inner flame burning, and enlighten ourselves, enlighten our own bodies, warm our bodies with the inner light, radiate, make your body radiant with light and glowing with light. And
Mhm.
these are exercises we will share with you today.
Yeah. I propose to start with a short grounding exercise.
Cool.
I invite you to sit comfortably and close your eyes for a moment if it's safe for you, if you feel safe to do so. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a moment, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale deeply and exhale, letting go of any tension. Let's do it again 1 more time. Take a deep breath in, hold it, and let it out. Feel the support beneath you. You are safe here. You are not alone. Imagine the earth gently holding you, grounding you, and giving you strength. Now imagine a candle in front of you. This candle, its light, is a symbol of your intention to move towards the light. So visualize you burning that candle and that small flame glowing in your heart. This flame represents your inner light. It may feel small now, but it's always there, waiting to grow. And that's our intention for tonight's session. Let's make it bigger. If you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the room. Welcome back.
That was lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, last week we had an entire session about the lights, but just to summarize and just to make a small intro for those who haven't seen our last session. When do you think of light? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's not just illumination from candles, sunlight. It's also lightness. Um, in not being heavy. It's lightness in the mind where you tread lightly through life. It's not feeling stuck because you move lightly, like the page or princess of cups, where you move easily, where you're also it's also a feeling within, a feeling of being enlightened, being illuminating, but also, there's also this other aspect of light, which means less weight. So you're not only feeling brighter, but you're also feeling less heavy, less earthy, less. You're flowing. You're walking on water. You're dancing to the streets. That's the combination of uh, the two meanings of light. Light in brightness, in shiningness, in uh, outwardiness, and also light in goingness, in
Mm,
weight and everything. So there's the two aspects of light, and when you can combine them, and the brightness of mind and positivity, and the world looks so much better when you wake up in the morning. I always, in my coaching, I always say to people who are struggling a bit, start there first thing in the morning, when you can open your eyes or open a door, go out when the sun is out, and say, "Good morning, beautiful world," and they bring a big smile to your face. And even though it can be raining, that's also beautiful. And some days the sun is out. That's beautiful. Sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's storming. Nature, the gods of nature are with us. Our
mm,
archetypal gods are with us, and we enjoy them, we welcome them, and we welcome the day that they bring us.
mm. It's a beautiful and poetic way of experiencing joy, peace, clarity. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and when you do that first thing in the morning, when you start doing that, because when you start smiling, you're already your neurons and everything is already working differently. So it's actually it's creating the first victory of the day, and you can
Mm,
create many victories of the day. I remember when I was in my career and had to go to the big city to work in my younger years. What I always did every morning, I did a wet shave, with a proper knife, and then do your face like this and look at yourself, and boom, there you were. You were ready to do it. So that was my first victory when I
mm.
was in a rush. No breakfast, no shaving, and taking care of yourself. That was empowering for me, and that's what got me going every day. And so these little morning rituals are already creating the first victories of the day, and already make your day a bit bigger, a bit better, because after a first victory, you're in the mood, you're moody, but it's a winning mood, and you can create more of it.
Yes, that's why some say it is important to make your bed when you get out, because it's the first victory. It will give you that feeling of accomplishment, doing something and achieving something. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would love to see your definition, guys, of the light. How would you describe your feeling or your understanding of the light? Perhaps you have a different way of looking at it. And you mentioned that smiling, and that reminds me of one advice I was giving many, many years ago, which worked for me magic and miracles. Even though I'm not a biggest fan of fake it until you make it was actually about smiling. Back then, I was working with a lot of people. I was in the retail environment. So it was important for me to be smiling, outgoing, but there were days that I wasn't feeling like it. And the advice was fake it until you make it. Smile anyway, because your brain won't notice the difference. If you express yourself in a green with a green of smile, the information to your brain will go, okay, you're smiling, so it's not so bad outside. And
Mhm.
I can guarantee you, if you will fake smile, after a while, you will start feeling it. It will, the way you feel will start improving just by that simple act of smiling, of having that grin on your face.
Exactly.
Not actually good in faking a smile because mine comes naturally. But that's something I recommend practicing as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, from smiling comes visualization. You can visualize yourself in a good environment. You can visualize yourself in the sun. You can visualize yourself in the light, or even in the spotlight, where you have another victory and people are cheering for you. All these things where you visualize, combine it um, with positive feelings, create these smiling feelings. These are the ways to get out of it, to get out of the stuckness that you sometimes have in these wintry and dark days before the winter solstice.
Yeah. Suzanne says, saying hello to everyone I meet when I walk my dog first thing in the morning with a smile. That's also a lovely way to
Yeah,
connect with others, to exchange
yeah,
those pleasantries, even if it's a simple smile. It does some magic to see people smiling. It's hard not to smile back, isn't it?
yeah. And walking the dog is also a victory.
Absolutely,
No more.
absolutely. This is the
We're
way
all
I
welcome
start
to
my day. We wake up and we go first thing out for a little walking meditation. I live completely secluded, isolated. It's only nature and me. I have a wonderful and beautiful mountain view, and it gets me every time I stop and just appreciate and express so much gratefulness
Yeah,
for where I am and for what I have in front of my eyes, because nature's beauty gets me every time.
it does. It does. Yeah. Likewise.
Yes. But what if finding that light is not so easy because we all crave it, especially when we know the feeling, how it is to be in light, to be off light, to have that light feeling within us. Um, what if that feeling is not far away, but yet still out of our reach?
Yeah. So you're feeling down, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling not able to move, you're feeling all these feelings like creating the first victory. They're not just not there because there's this little spark of darkness within you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I think you said the key word here, within you. We have to remember that the light is not something we're supposed to chase or go after, because that's not something which comes from outside sources. Yes, it's
yeah,
easy to get there through the outside sources, but the
yeah,
truth is the light and the darkness are both within us, and we
yeah,
have to learn how to tap into it,
yeah,
ideally without the influence of the outside. But sometimes it's the only way, and there is nothing bad about it.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
like
need
we
to
talked about.
remember that it's all within us,
Yeah,
waiting to be tapped in and discovered,
and
which is obviously
like
only easy in theory.
like we talked about the last few weeks also, like the times of the darkness and the time of acknowledging your shadow. So often not seeing the light comes because your shadow is taken the better half of you, and because most of us are not too much in touch with our shadows. The shadow is called the hidden part of ourselves. So before we can move into the light, we have to acknowledge the darkness. We have to acknowledge our shadow, and that's where you start. You start where you are within the shadow and accept it, know it for what it is. If you haven't done so, watch our episodes of 3 and 2 weeks ago about the shadow and how to work with it and how to do the shadow work, and then reflect, then meditate on it.
Yes. There are actually good questions you can ask yourself in order to assess where you are now.
Yeah.
What does the darkness or that feeling of being stuck feels like for you right now? How does it feel?
Yeah.
What where in your life you feel stuck or you feel in the darkness? And when do you notice it the most? Those are the three opening questions which will give you a lot of information. And one thing I can't express enough and I can't stress enough is that it is okay to feel that way. Darkness is not a punishment, it is a teacher, a place of pause and reflection. And it is super important to take a moment and reflect on that. Um, Journal, write about it. If you don't have time, just thinking about it will give you a lot of insight and it will work as a guiding sign in towards the light.
Hmm. Yeah. And what you often will notice that when you start working with it, when you start acknowledging it, when you look into it, when you look into the darkness of the of the cup, you can see, oh, it's not empty. There's
Yeah.
it's all perception. It's all perception.
Yes, the darkness will show up in a different way for every single one of us, and that's
Hmm.
important to understand. But we tend to focus on negative aspects of what's missing. We tend to focus and often even hold on to pain, hold on to past, hold on to dreams, hold on to things which actually keep us stuck. But if we change our perspective and try to see things from a different point of view, the same situation may look completely different.
That's the thing. And I think what you also need to acknowledge is, where does this feeling come from? Um, where's the feeling? What are you stuck with? Are you stuck in your career? Are you stuck at work? People around you aren't, they don't behave like you want them to. Well, they never do. So live with that. Is it your relationship? Is it something internal? Is it just emotional purpose? Are you living? Are you living life's purpose, or do you need to make adjustments there? That's quite often the case. When you're feeling stuck, you have to tweak things. Let go of your job, or close your business, or leave your relationship, or work on it to make it better. Try to find new enthusiasm there, find a new motivation to make the best of it every day. And I often say, um, when you're for instance when you feel bad at work and you feel underappreciated, just go there, show up, be at that moment the best version of yourself, and you will already see that, not by, you don't have to overdo it, but just putting in the right amount of effort. You'll see that people acknowledge you more. You see that you're happier yourself, and you're not overtiring yourself, because we sometimes we love to put in a lot of effort, but also on the other side, putting in no effort because we don't like it makes it even worse, makes it miserable. And I've seen people that were craving for a promotion and putting this into action, not working too hard for promotion, but just doing the right thing at the right time, with being in the now, and boom, they felt better, their surroundings felt better, and the promotion came naturally.
Absolutely. I have example in my own life. Just after COVID started, I happened to come back to Ireland, and there was no jobs available at that moment. The only certain thing was a retail environment, and I used to run cafes, I used to run bakeries, so I hired myself in a big bakery department. I absolutely hated that job because I wasn't doing what was supposed to. It was way under qualified. I was overqualified for the job, but it paid the bills. The moment I started to look from a different perspective, and instead of focusing what I hate about that place and that job, is what I'm actually gaining, everything changed. Everything started to come with ease. And I changed because of that. My environment changed because of that within the work. And everything felt easier and flew easier. So it's absolutely, I agree with what you just said, because I'm a living proof of that.
Yeah, well, likewise. It always works. It's a trick that always works. Just don't think about it. Do what you need to do. Boom. Again,
Mm,
kind of fake. It's not even faking it till you make it. It's just, don't let the negativity of it take the better part of yourself, because it's in your own hands. That's the whole thing of it.
In my bathroom, I have a poster which says, sometimes all you need is a new perspective.
Bingo. And that's
Mm.
what's so helpful. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, baby steps.
Yes, and I know, guys, we talk about baby steps a lot here, but this is the way to do things, because things may sometimes be so overwhelming that seeing it from the bigger picture is demotivating. But if we focus on finding the next thing which we have to figure out and do and make, it's going to be way easier. And the same thing with moving from the darkness or through the shadow into the light. It's not going to happen over day. Of course, sometimes it can, but usually it's not the case. But the baby steps and looking for those little things, little tweaks we can make, little actions we can take. This is how we're actually going to succeed.
Yeah. And of course, I think everybody will have experienced that in their lives. That it's not always the big step that brings you forward. I'm a big supporter of baby steps because I say when you do 10 small steps together, it's still a big step. And if you fail one of two of these, you still have 80% done right. And when you only go for the big leaps forward and you miss a big leap, you miss 100%. You know, that's the little secret of baby steps, that you can miss a few beats and you're still on track.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The good question to ask yourself is, what's that one thing I could do today to shift my energy, even slightly? Suzanne talked about going out in the nature with a dog, talking to strangers, smiling. Jan said about opening the window with some energy, with manifesting a good life by and a good day by spelling out "Good morning, beautiful
Yeah.
world."
Yeah. And these
Um,
are the things that even don't require any good things to happen, but also always keep your mind open for good things. Random
yeah,
acts of kindness done to you. People people yesterday I saw someone losing a 50 euro note on the street, and someone walking after her, sorry, you lost this note. You know, and I'm sure they both feel better. You know what I mean? Nobody lost something and nobody gained something, but still, this little acts of kindness make you feel better. Uh, Today I got a big milestone in my house. The solar panels finally started working and started yielding, and I could already they turned them on yesterday and finished it today, but I could already see on my meter reading that I spent less money on electricity, and all these small things. You know, there's always small things happening in your life. You meet strangers, you meet known people, and they do good things for you. Uh, Enjoy them, observe them.
even if you don't, make yourself a cup of tea, coffee, ceremonial cacao, and make a morning ritual where you are with you and yourself only, and focus that intention on feeling better and bringing that energy of life into your day. Do something small, do something which makes you happy. Even if that's watching a silly video of cats and dogs, it's actually scientifically proven that watching videos of cats is a great way of curing or helping within depression.
Yeah, yeah. And people laughing or babies laughing, that's also funny. You know, stuff like that. Uh, so um, if you don't need it, if you don't know what you need right now, uh, think think as a little step, a baby step, like identifying what you need, identifying this little thing that brightens up your day just a small bit, and then you're on track on and making something. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a little trick. When I feel down, I find myself between the darkness and the light. And I imagine those two having a conversation. Because if the darkness could speak, what it would say to me, and the
Mm.
light, what it would answer, what it might say back. It's actually an interesting way of finding out how you really feel deep inside. I encourage you to do so if you feel like you're in that space between the light, the dark and the light, and you need a bridge. That little conversation may be really helpful.
A dialogue with yourself, you're pointing to.
The dialogue between the darkness and the
Yeah,
light.
with the aspects of self. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, interesting. So the
Yeah.
darkness would say, "Ah, it's again a bad day today." What would the light answer?
Mm. Well, the light usually answers that the darkness isn't anything negative, but a part of you asking for attention. So,
Ah,
what is that you need to let go of? And what does the light need to help you to take a step forward?
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So it's just the one thing, like we said, the one thing you can do to invite more light into your life.
Mhm.
It could be as simple as spending time doing something you love.
Yeah.
We all have things we love, and yeah, treat yourself.
But also, if we are not ready to leave something behind, to allow ourselves to not to fix it straight away. Acknowledging is also a powerful step. Finding out, it's also a powerful step. And we don't always have to go into action from point A to point B straight away. It's great, but it's not always possible. Acknowledging and just accepting that, okay, I'm not at my best today. It's also fine.
Okay, yeah, get that. And then we start manifesting the light through action.
Mm.
Action is the dance of manifestation.
Oh, yes. Says an expert of the action and manifestation.
I do. Yeah, yeah. I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. I'm never. My mind never sits still, and what my mind thinks, my body, my gut, my my whole being wants to manifest, wants to create. I'm a creator.
I
Creator.
hope you don't mind me sharing this, but what I noticed about you is every time you go into the darker period, or you take a step back from the light towards the darkness, your way of getting yourself out of that is through work, through creativity, through making things happen. So the more, this is my observation, and you can confirm it or not, but I was just curious. The way I see you, the more in the darkness you are, the most beauty comes out of it, because then you give yourself fully into working, into creating, into building something new. Is that your way of bringing yourself out of the darkness? And are you aware of that actually?
I would say I'm a natural. And I can I remember even from my younger years and my early careers and my first businesses, I could be very happy when things were successful, but I could also see the humor of things going wrong, and that creates a life with many ups and also with loads of downs. It's so it's I think it's a coping mechanism. I am a natural of coping with the darkness, coping with adversity through humor, and then yeah, then act on it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What about when you feel stuck? Do you get those moments that you feel stuck?
Oh, definitely.
Hmm.
I procrastinate like hell.
Do you?
Yeah,
Didn't know
definitely. Yeah. Watch videos or playing silly computer games or interesting computer games, or watch YouTube's or doom scroll through timelines on Facebook, which is, and there comes a moment when you do it so much you can't do it anymore, and then you flip the switch again.
that. Hmm.
And
So
sometimes you
true.
just have to allow yourself to procrastinate because that's the yeah
Yeah,
that's also a coping
eventually you
mechanism.
will
Yeah,
get bored. That's so true. Eventually you will get bored of avoiding that thing, because very often what we think about weighs more heavy than actually doing things. The fear is bigger to do it than it actually is the feeling while we're doing something. Absolutely,
yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I might want to do a nice game with you and everybody here. I call it the breakout question.
Go
And the
for it.
breakout question is, what if I would give you the equivalent of 1 million euros or dollars tomorrow? Uh, what would you do? And the trick there is, what would you do for yourself if money is not a problem? And I got people actually, when I forgot to mention do for yourself, they say, "Oh, I'm gonna give it to all my friends." Yeah, okay, then you're broke. I say, "Okay, next day I give you another million, but you can't give it to your friends." Oh, I pay off the mortgage. Yeah, okay, good. Next day, I give you another million. I'll give you 10 million. Oh, I'm gonna go to a warm place and sit on a beach forever. Yeah, forever. Well, that's people who don't know that when you have nothing useful to do, even sitting on the beach forever gets boring like hell. So it's really it what you really need to do for yourself is finding that sweet spot. When I was I'm a career switcher. I'm a Gemini, so every so many years I take a different turn in life. So I had a restaurant. I worked for a company. I was a project manager. I worked at a multinational. Uh, Built up an internet company with 200 employees. Got bankrupt. I've been there and done that. If I was looking for something to work on, I always looked at what am I doing, even if I don't get paid for it. What's my heart's desire? What would I do even if I don't get paid for it? And that the funny thing with me is that changes every so many years. That comes with the star sign. And so my career changes every so many years. I just look at what I like to do, what I even like I said, what I even would do without getting paid for it, and then turn that into uh, a business and turn that into something I get paid for.
It's funny because when you ask that question, my first thought was exactly what I'm doing now, which puts me in a good place, I suppose. But what you're
Right?
talking about comes from six basic human needs we all have: need of certainty and security, need of uncertainty, which gives us the adventure, the unknown, because even if we're in a comfort zone and super secured, after a while we get bored, so we need that uncertainty. We have the need for love and connection, to be with other people, to connect with them. We have that need for growth. We have the need for contribution and sharing what we develop, what we bring to the world. And we have that need of sharing with others. And I forgot about one. Uncertainty, certainty, love, connection, growth, and contribution. No, that's six.
And together they form purpose and
Yes,
passion. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And all need to be fulfilled in order for us to feel happy, to feel um, connected with ourselves, I suppose, with our purpose, having that reason to get up in the morning.
yeah. And like yourself, Luna, when I, if you would give me 1 million euro or dollars now, right now, I would tomorrow I would do exactly the same
Mm.
as I was planning to do because I'm having most of these boxes ticked and that requires some work. That doesn't come easy, but still,
Lucky us.
lucky us.
But it all comes from making choices and paying consequences sometimes as well.
Definitely,
But
yeah.
making those aware choices, the choices we want to make, and finding our own light, finding our own path, and walking in that path.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is important to me, because One of the other ideas for this session and for this topic is, and here I have a confession to make. Right now, I find myself feeling stuck, uninspired, unmotivated, and I really struggle to find that motivation and get myself into the flow. And yes, I allow it to be because it's my teacher. I've learned from experiences that there is a gold. I just need to dig deeper to find it.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, I'm looking for ways to help myself to feel better because I don't like to feel lousy like I am now. It's not in my nature. And one thing which works for me like magic is to move my body, shake it a little bit, shake it off, dance, go for a run, go for a walk, be out in nature. But the movement is such an important aspect of creating that better feeling within us. Why? It's very simple. It's physical, it's biology, it's hormones of happiness, we which are being released when we move our body, especially when we dance. Dancing is healing. So if you feel down, if you feel lousy, if you feel unmotivated, switch on your favorite song. Do a dance like nobody would be watching. And I can guarantee you that by the end of that song, you will feel better. That's something which keeps me going in the moments I am in the moments like I am right now. And it changes everything. It gives me that feeling of being me again.
Wonderful. What a wonderful way to bring out the light in yourself, because it's like a fire that's smothered, and it's like bringing oxygen into it, and it lights up again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Breathing in the prana. There was a reason why we started this session from taking few deep breaths,
And it definitely helps.
just to change biology and bring some more oxygen to our bodies. Um, if you're like myself struggling, what I encourage you to do is to take a piece of paper and write down one small action you could take today or tomorrow to invite more light. What is that rocks your boat? Because to me it's dancing, but for you it can be something different. Write down all the ideas which come to you. What one thing you could do, and then turn it into action. And one step after another, you will see that those little small steps will lead to a big shift.
It does. It does.
Mhm. Now, my goodness, I can't believe we're already almost 45 minutes into that session. So perhaps we could give some guidance to those who are watching, guidance
Yeah.
from the above, guidance from spirit, something practical as well, because we're all here about practicality. We all are here about doing rather than just talking about it. And yes, talking is important, but I would love you guys to leave with something tangible, with a guidance specifically for you. And how to do it? Well, there is a one great way. Jan is smiling.
Yeah.
He already knows what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
It's time to pull some cards.
Yeah. Cards. Let me see how.
Iron Fire Horse says, I usually dance for an hour. Ecstatic dance. Lovely. I use Google Fit and it gives me 7,000 steps and 25 to 30 hard points. It says it's my afternoon bike ride. It thinks I'm doing wheelies and spinning on a bike. That's great. That's great. Thank you for
Lovely.
highlighting that comment. It's funny, actually. I
Thank you.
remember when I was working at the checkout, scanning stuff. It requires a lot of hand movement. and my iWatch, my Fitband, was thinking I was running. So the amount of kilometers I was doing every day, even though I was sitting, was just funny. But yes. Okay. What shall we?
Hello, my job. Singing and dancing to your daughter. Lovely.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful way of bringing that joy. So, I propose to pull some cards for the guidance for the next step towards the light. How about
Mhm.
that?
Can be done.
I already dropped a few cards on the floor.
Mhm. So a card representing the next step towards the light.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you have an interesting deck there. Is your mic off? I don't hear you, Luna.
Oh, great. I was talking to myself.
Ah,
I said, I guess we're doing the pick a card of reading, which is great because it will give you even more personalized message. So it's a choice between Luna and the Druid.
how to do it.
You can feel drawn to two cards, and then there will be messages in both cards for you. Shall you start?
I picked the Eight of Discs, or the Eight of Pentacles as it is known. I always call this the crafty card, and definitely connects with what I said earlier. This is about doing a few things. The things you do them prudently, do them with care, with love, with attention. Don't bother about negative thoughts. Do them to the best of your ability. That's what the Eight of Discs does. Uh, the natural the natural habitat of the Eight of Discs is, of course, in the hands of the crafter, and the crafter, an artist who creates, someone who creates art, writes a book, a silversmith, a sculptor, a painter, a writer. They do it with the utmost care. They create their masterpieces, and this is about creating the masterpiece. And a third element of this card is, as you can see, it's a tree. So it's the tree of life. It's the tree of yourself and your either biological or your chosen family, your network of friends that you surround yourself with. So it's carefully choosing the way forward and surrounding yourself with the good things in life, the good people in life. And if not everything looks perfectly, do it to the best of your abilities. Boom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got here exchanging gifts. The camera
Ah,
should pick on this card.
oh,
I
you're
just want
good at that.
you see the card first.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I'm really drawn about this card is the pink color. Pink color represents to me the heart chakra, the connection, the love connection. So one way of moving into the light is to allow ourselves to feel love, be love, but also receive love. And I'm going to use the description of this card from the guidebook here. It says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing costs and determining value. So what this card represents to me is the give and take. It is important to exchange the energy and allow yourself to receive, because maybe you feel down, you feel stuck, you feel in the darkness. But I can guarantee you there is somebody around you. It can be a person, it can be an animal, it can be a special tree which wants to do something for you, which wants to take that energy from you and give something good in exchange. It's funny that we talked here about dancing, and some of our viewers mentioned that they dance as well, because we have a ballerina here
Coming
coming
out of the
out
box. Yeah.
of the box. Yes, spreading her wings, and dancing and flying, giving herself to joy, giving herself to a
And she's
moment
an
of joy.
artist. She's
Yes,
an
she
artist.
is an artist indeed. But
Mm.
what I'm getting from this card, it is important that you would acknowledge the importance of the energy exchange. This is very important. And this is the way to do it in your case. Give and receive. But
Mm.
something tells me in this case, it's the other way around. Receive to be able to give more.
Yeah, yeah. Accept the gifts as well, and that's
Oh, yes. We
what
actually have a gift box here. So
what some people forget. I know many people who are just givers, and never ask something in return. Well,
mm,
you're entitled to.
mm. Beautiful guidance and
Yeah,
beautiful cards. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us.
yeah.
Um,
Holding this space
Before
together.
we close, I want to share an affirmation which might be useful if you feel stuck, if you feel in that space in between. And there is a reason why we talk in between, because we are in between times. Um, but I would like you to remember those few sentences. I am free to move forward. I am safe to release the darkness. My light is always within me, guiding me towards joy and peace. Make it your daily mantra and observe how things shift. Thank you so much for joining Luna and the Druid tonight. I hope this was helpful and this gave you a motivation to take a next step towards the light.
And brightness and light from us to all of you. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.